Greetings from Chicagoland. You're listening to Munira's Musings, where your host Munira will showcase new guests each week to share exciting details about the journey to their niches. As we like to say, the riches are in the niches. And on this show, we'll share ideas on how to break through our invisible boundaries so we can start taking steps towards our dreams and create the life that we most desire. If you're passionate about impacting lives, then this podcast will give you some great ideas and equip you with the tools to quickly grow your business. Okay, let's get started with today's show. Here's your host, Munira.
Greetings from Chicagoland. This is Munira, coming to you live with another guest all the way from Thailand. Now, how does this person go to Thailand? Have you ever wondered that? As an entrepreneur, we always look for opportunities where we can go and have a laptop lifestyle. Our guest today is doing just that, but living abroad. He's originally a Canadian. Welcome, Martin. Coach Martin, welcome to Munira's Musings. How are you today?
Thank you for receiving me, and yes, thank you, and yes, I'm doing well. It's evening time for me, so 7 o'clock. It's beautiful in Thailand, so everything is good. Life is good. Beautiful.
Life is good. Okay, so we do these shows because we want entrepreneurs to understand what it is what they can achieve, and what other people's stories have done for themselves. The idea is to entice other people to jump into the entrepreneurial pool so that they can use the same methodology to get financial freedom and not be tied to a 9-to-5 job.
I'm a believer.
Right. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Right. So I'm gonna try to do in 2 minutes my 30 years career. Basically, I'm like you said, I'm Canadian, born and raised in Montreal and Ottawa, and the majority of my life I've been kind of stuck into a 9-to-5 job, working in different corporations, different roles, management, leadership, and so on, until one day I took the jump of living abroad. So over the last 15 years, I've lived in 10 different countries, over America, Europe, and Asia. I will not name the 10 countries, but I've lived pretty much everywhere. I've worked with different type of companies in different type of roles, from multinational to startup to mini micro enterprise. I founded my first company was I was about 45 years old, 44, 45. So I was a late starter, actually, because I had the myth or the limiting belief that most of the people have, and we can talk about this over the interview today. And one thing, and that's something when I coach people on entrepreneurship, the first thing that I coach, which I apply and I realize it works, is you start with what you want to achieve, not what you can achieve. And that's a mistake that I've made when I first start my first company or work with people. You always look into, okay, I have this skills, therefore I'm going to start a company with this, I'm going to do this. Doesn't matter if you like it or not, this is a way to start. But you asked me the question why I am in Thailand today is because on my personal vision, my personal ambition over the last 5 years ago was I want to live in Asian countries. I love Asia for different reasons. I don't like being in a cold in Canada. I see a lot of movement and progression in Asian countries, and I love the culture, I love the food, everything. So I put myself a goal to get there without knowing how I'm going to get there. So entrepreneurship actually led me to this. And to make a long story short, that during COVID, start a company which was trading between countries, food and beverages. Of course, started 1 month before the lockdown, so it wasn't the best time ever to start such company. So it didn't work so well, but I took the opportunity to explore network and rebuild something. And I saw an opportunity in Thailand back then to say, I can use my expertise, my company, to start facilitating import and export from Thailand, which I did. And then later on, I started traveling here. I saw bigger opportunities, and eventually that allowed me to set myself up and do something else here. So I'm based in Thailand. I have some small businesses here, but the biggest business I do now is coaching. So I do entrepreneur coaching and business coaching and consulting. But my niche because we're talking about niche today. My niche is entrepreneur. And the reason I'm doing that is over the last decade, I've been doing a lot of leadership position. And the thing that realized that really turned me on, that lights the fire in me, is when I can train people, coach people, and bring them to the next level. The mindset, the spirit, and the skills, and so on. So I've realized I'm not about doing the budget and the political, promotion, stuff like that. It's not for me anymore. I just turned 50 last month. But what I really like is work with people. So I've decided, again, it's about setting yourself goals and ambition. My goal is to help people wake up in the morning and have fun. So for me, this is the definition of success, right? It's not about money. It's not about how big a car I have or a house. My definition of success, if I can wake up in the morning and get excited about starting my day, I'm successful. And I can say today I'm successful because I get to do what I want.
That's awesome. So let's talk about the jobs that you did. You said you had a 9 to 5 job. What kind of jobs did you do?
I work with the biggest company I've worked back in Canada, the longest was Costco wholesale. So I worked as a manager there. I worked as a buying manager as well, so trading and doing all the purchases for Costco and food. Then it allowed me to move to Europe where I did similar things. And then I start moving more to strategy development and roles and stuff like that. Over time, I also did my master degrees in businesses. So again, I'm a late starter for everything, but it's also that's a good story where it's never too late to do what you want, right? Or what you want to become. So I've done all that, which everything that I've done over the last 10 years was always intentional. If I do something, if I start a project, if I go somewhere, if I talk with someone, is with something in mind. I'm going that direction. I'm not sure where I'm going to get there yet, but everything I do has a purpose. So therefore, at some point of time, the path is leading me to where I want to be. So these are the type of job that I've done mainly in leadership, trading, commercial jobs. But leadership actually was the main factor, the main thing that common point between pretty much all the last works that I've done the last 5 to 10 years, I'd say. And this is where I can say that I've been coaching people for the last decade, at least, not in an organized way like I'm doing now, like the tools and methodology and principles and so on, but I've been doing it without knowing it for the last 10 years, at least.
That's the way you start, right? So even, I mean, most of the coaches that you have come on the show have always done that. They never understand, but they've been laying foundation, but they never understood. My example for me, I'm a good example for that, because when I was working in corporate, I was also looking at other people, and people is the biggest commodity in our business. And I was helping them figure out what their niches were. And without knowing this could be a business, only to find out 15 years later that, hey, I can do this as a business because I'm so good at it. And I've helped so many people along the way. So, so you worked, and then all of a sudden, how did this switch happen? All of a sudden from going corporate to, being an entrepreneur?
I would say it was a bit progressive with a big jump the last couple of months. So I give you an example, right? So since I moved since COVID, I would say, I take what I do mainly. I'm never looking for a job. The job look for me, basically will find me, and people contact me and propose me something, and I was in a position where I can actually accept what I want to accept. So if someone approached me for a 6-month contract or interim management and something that excites me, I will do it. I will do it because I choose to do it. I'm not forced. If I don't work for 6 months, I'm okay. Financially, I'm not rich, but I can manage. But it's also a personal choice, right? So I've been doing it for the last 5 years, 3-4 contracts like this, where mainly in Asia. But behind my mind, I always thought I want to do something more dedicated to coaching and helping, and you mentioned also digital nomad. I like to be not stuck in one area. If I want to go work for 1 month in Vietnam, I will do. It's no problem. I can do it. So I've been thinking about it. It was in the back of my mind for a couple of years, actually. And I knew that I needed a few months to be able to organize myself, like build a website, the platform, and the content, and the methodology and certification. All of this needs some time. But when I work with contracts, I need to dedicate myself to the work I'm doing for the money, right? So a couple of months ago, back in early this year, I was finishing a contract for a big company here in Thailand. And normally I would start looking around if there's something else, after. But this time I made a commitment. My contract finished in March, early March. I said, this time I'm just going to close the door to everything else. And I'm going to organize myself and really dedicate myself to the coaching business and consulting. So that's how actually the last mile, I would say, it was progressive in the sense that I started doing it progressively and just accept something that is related to helping teams and organizing teams on a corporate world still. But only since beginning of this year, I've committed to myself to now it's time. So it's time to do it and do it for myself, right?
Okay, so timing. So pace yourself. What I'm hearing here right now is you're talking to my audience and you're telling them to pace themselves and to have very intentional growth and have an intentional plan, right? So
correct.
So right now, when you are dedicating yourself to coaching, are you coaching companies? Are you coaching individuals? How are you? Well, who is your target niche?
I'm building actually. I have different niche. I have 3 different niche, I would say, right? I have, let's call it the niche, which is more lucrative, the one which I can make money out of, the one that can help, and the one that really passionate me. So the one that I'm developing program with, and I'm not finished yet, so I need to restart the corporate one. So leadership, executive coaching. So going to companies, especially in Asia, there's a lot of needs for it. So going to small company or mid-size or large size, coach the leadership team. Because my program, I'm a trained coach, but I'm also a consultant and a lot of work experience. So I can combine the both. I'm not only doing the blah blah and motivation stuff without the tools, and I'm not a consultant who would do 10,000 slides of PowerPoint and leave. So I can actually combine both. I coach the people and I consult the problem, right? So that's the part what I do for mid to big size companies. I do have a program to help small companies, so SMEs that are stuck, like solo owner type of thing, that want to grow but not sure how. They don't have the skills, knowledge, or capability, or even the motivation to do. That's a niche. But the biggest one that I'm developing now is what I call aspiring entrepreneur, and that's the part which really motivates me, because across the years I come across so many people now that really want to do it, especially the young, not only the young generation, people my age now that I've worked 9 to 5 all their life, they're tired, they don't see the retirement, if they're going to have the money or not. They really want to do something, but they don't have the skills. Well, they have, but they don't know they have the skills. They don't have the organization or process to do it, but specifically they don't have the support, right? So when I talk to people, they say, oh, I talk to my family, I talk to my wife, I talk to my friends. They all say, oh, just get a job like everybody else, you're gonna fail. So everybody they talk to tell them they're gonna fail, right? They have no support, they have no one to guide them, and also if they do, they have no one to, sorry for the language, but give them a kick in the butt when they need it, right? So that's also a role of a coach, is not only to cheerleader and give the process, but it's to keep you accountable. If you make a promise to yourself that you're going to get there in 3 years, you're going to get there. That's my role as a coach, to follow you and push you when you need to push, to celebrate when you need to celebrate, and give you the tools and motivation necessary. And that's really what my niche is now, is especially I'm coaching a few people in college, university now, that just say, I'm learning all these things. I'm not even sure if I want a job now, because it kind of seems useless to me. I see many people with job with MBA or even PhD, and they work at McDonald's. I said, I can do more. So they have the motivation. And on the other opposite, you have the 50, 55 years old. They say, I have so much to offer, but I'm still, now I cannot get good jobs anymore because I'm getting older. So again, misbelief, but there's a lot of value there, both if you're young or if you're older, that you can turn this into your advantage. But it's scary. What most of the people I spoke with, they will never do it because they're scared. So they need coaching to overcome the fear, right?
Right.
That's one of the things that, yeah.
I love the fact that you are helping different specters of age groups as well. But
Yeah.
and I like the fact that you've identified, because that's partly what my audience is also. They're looking to do something, but sometimes they need a push, and or they don't know where to start. And sometimes they have a wealth of knowledge, but they don't know if they can do it. Self-belief, self-motivation, mindset, all of that comes
All
to
right.
play, right?
Everything start here. Everything. And
Everything.
that's my methodology, my coaching. Even if I coach people that think they know what they want to do, I destroy that part, then we rebuild. Because most of the time they think they know what they want, but they don't. And they will make a mistake of starting something they don't like and then fail. I'll give you a concrete example without any names, but I'm coaching a lady in Africa. And she said, I'm going to start my business in accounting. I said, why? She said, I've been doing accounting for 20 years. I'm an expert. I said, why you do accounting? She said, because my dad saw you're the clever kid in the family. You're going to get to do accounting. And she did accounting for 20 years. And I asked her the question, do you like it? She's not really. So why you want to dedicate yourself into a business of something that you wake up in the morning you're not happy with? So all that to say, we start having different type of discussion, and then she realized that she wants something completely different. So now she's going to start launching a business which is totally unrelated. I mean, the accounting skills, yeah, can play a role into the business and so on, but it's completely unrelated. Again, the first step is start with what you want to become, even if you don't have the skills. And then we build the what I call the learning agenda. So this is you today. Let's say Munira 1.0 and Munira 2.0. Who she is, what she do, how she dress. And then we identify the skills gap. And this is what the coaching will be, is about filling the gap or bridging the gap between who you are today and what you want to become in 5 years from now. And the same thing with your enterprise. So that's what the coaching is about. It's not about, yes, of course, in the second phase, we talk about business plan and business model and strategy and all that stuff. That's the consulting part of it. But the first part, if you don't build on your mindset and your vision first, you will probably fail. Or if you don't fail, you're going to be very unhappy and start again.
Right. I love the advice that you're giving, is that start with what you want. I love
Yeah.
that, because many times I've spoken in front of women and I've asked them, what is it that you want? And I don't
Yeah.
mean, I'm not singling out the men, but I talk to a lot of women. And when I ask them that, they're all gung-ho, they're going to get something out of this workshop. But when I ask them, what is it that you want? Their papers are blank. They have no clue. They have no clue. And that alone is a workshop in itself, right? What is it that you want? Right.
And it's even more complex that people would think, because the tendency is human nature. We're gonna say what we expect people from us, right? For example, there's another kid I'm teaching from coaching from the Philippines. The first time I asked him that question, he said, "Oh yeah, I want to build something to give back to the community." Blah 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 blah. That's what people expect you to say. You have a business. I'm gonna have the community all the maybe this is what you want, but the majority of the time, I mean, he's 22 years old. He's coming from a very poor, living in a slum for 3 generations. What he wants is get out of it, have money, and have a good life. So it's not about, yes, maybe you can give this. The motivation now is about getting out and money. So be true to yourself. Don't come to me with that, sorry for the word, for that bullshit to say, yeah, this is what I really want. No, you need to reflect on yourself. Do this exercise alone. Don't share with anybody else. Then later you build something. Because when you build a business, that should support your lifestyle and your ambition, not become a slave of your own business, right? So if you're true to yourself, you're going to be happy. If you lie to yourself, you're going to be miserable. And it's very difficult to say. It's very difficult.
Go ahead.
I was just about to say, you're right. When we ask people to write what they want, they get confused. Even myself. I mean, since we're a kid, people ask us, what do you want to become when you grow up? Or what type of school you want to go? What study? We don't know. Because we're human. We sometimes we just want too many things or confused. So what I tell people now is, don't start with, if you're confused, don't start with what you want. Start with what you don't want, right? For example, I take my case. I didn't want to I didn't want to retire in Canada. I don't like it. It's too cold. The economy is not well. So first, I don't want this. Two, I don't want to have the stress of the 9 to 5 or politics and stuff. So I have a list of everything that I don't want. Then when I can ask the question of myself, what do I want? It's much more easier because you go by elimination, right? So you reduce your scope of what you want by starting with what you don't want. So that's one of the exercises I give people to do.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you so much. So what is your one advice to my audience here? What is the one thing that you've given us a lot of advice. One last thing that you tell our audience.
Actually, there's two parts of that answer. The first part is fear not. We limit ourselves so much because we fear, and the fear is only an imagination. Well, there's a quote that says fear is only your imagination showing you a future that doesn't exist yet, right? So we stop ourselves short of doing everything that we want because we fear something that doesn't exist or will probably never happen. So don't fear, just do it. And the second thing is find I call it corner people, some corner team, people that support you, cheer you up, guide you. It could be a coach, could be a mentor, could be good friends, doesn't matter who he is, but find your corner team and fear not and just go. Be true to yourself. Don't hesitate, and then you will succeed. If you wake up in the morning saying, I'm going to fail, you will fail for sure. There's no doubt about it. But if you wake up and say, I'm going there, I might fail along the way, but I'm going there anyway, that's, you start overcoming the fear and you do it.
Sounds like
That's
a baby who's trying to walk, right? They fall so many times, but they keep walking. And otherwise, if they stopped walking, they would never walk, right? So
there's not a single successful entrepreneur in the world and in history that never failed. They all fail multiple times. But people just see the success, right? They don't see the failure.
Well, but that's what we are shown, right? We go to, I used to be invited to see other people's businesses, the pyramids and all that. It's a good business. I'm not dissing that, but what I'm saying is that you get to see the people who have climbed the rungs and who have the Rolls Royce and the gold watch and everything else. But then nobody talks about their journey and how they got there. But then we think, I want that. But then when it comes to the hard work, we just give up because we don't want to do it. The giving up part should not be something that we should be looking forward to. We should be looking at, it's okay to fail, but we're going to use those lessons to take what we've learned and then apply them to the successful trend of going.
Failure is part of success. There's no other way around. It is part of success. And again, going back to the importance of having a strong vision of what you want. If you want something so hard and you're passionate about it, doesn't matter if you fail. You fall and you wake up again, and you fall and wake up because you're going there. You're so passionate about your dreams, you're gonna achieve it, and you're true to yourself that you're gonna fail hundreds of times. It doesn't matter. You're going there anyway. Nobody's gonna stop you. But if you're not passionate, the first time you fail, you give up.
So, Martin, how do people find you?
I actually, after the show, I can send you. You can put either on Facebook and so on. I have a website, essencementor.com. I have my email. I don't have too much platform actually. I have Facebook page and LinkedIn. I don't use too much. But normally people reach out to me by network. People who know people and so on. But I'd be happy to share my website link also for it, or my email. Anyone that wants to give it a try or give a conversation. And what I like to do is I'll always give one session for free. I like to guide people, at least give them an idea of how I work and what this could look like for them as well. And then discuss. I have different type of package, but mostly I work on a one-on-one basis. I don't do online courses or anything like this. So I really believe that every single individual is different. Every journey is different. Every ambition will be different. So I'm really adapting the program to whoever I'm coaching. I'm taking a limited amount of people per month because also my vision is I don't want to work 80 hours per week. I want to work only a few hours per day. So I'm limited, but I still have some availability. So whoever want to give it a shot, you contact me, and I'm happy to to get a good discussion.
There you
If
go.
anything, we
So,
just have a discussion. Yeah.
and I like that. I just have a discussion. And ladies and gentlemen, there you go. There's always a different twist in everybody's life. Martin's twist is that he's living out of this country in an Asian country in Thailand, living the living the dream life that he's always thinking
My
of.
dream, yes.
Yeah, his dream. Yeah, he's living his dream. Not anybody else's. Now, one question I'm going to ask you, my viewers, is what is your dream? What is it that you want? So 2 questions. Yes, 2 parts. But sit down and think about that. Make sure that you have a clear picture of what is it that you want. And if you are not sure, then what you need to do is come up, because many coaches, Martin is one, I am one. Let's sit down and have a conversation and see what it is that you want, and we can materialize it into what you want it to become. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like our show, if you like what we are sharing with you, please go ahead, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We will be back with another guest next week to talk about another niche. I mean, this is a show about niches, but we talk about different things, right? But how is it that you get there is the journey. And that's what we are more interested in. And until we meet you again next week, have a wonderful week. And thank you, Martin. We'll see you. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Munira's Musings. We hope that you found today's conversation inspiring and useful so that you can continue making progress towards mastering your own niche. Please tune in next week for another episode, and in the meantime, you can follow us on social media at Munira's Musings on Facebook and leave us a review wherever you're listening to podcasts. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.